I'm Scott Halford, and this is Your Brain Matters. Today what we're going to talk about is cortisol. It's the hormone that's secreted in your body when you are faced with a threat and when you're trying to deal with stressful situations. It's great to be able to narrow our behaviors, which is what cortisol does in the brain. It narrows our behaviors to allow us to survive the threat and to manage the threat well. That's great, but once the threat is past, what we want to do is decrease our cortisol so that we can actually broaden our abilities and kind of get back to a positive state of homeostasis. The problem is that inside of many organizations and corporations, we're constantly barraged with just constant pulls and stressful deadlines and people needing things and we were wrong on something and all of the different stressors of daily life and family back in the background and so many different things that can actually increase our cortisol and keep it at a high level throughout the day. And so what that does is it actually batters our brain. It disallows us to have access, at least good access, to the prefrontal cortex, which is the thinking, executive reasoning part of the brain. And so we become an emotional reactor. We're just constantly reacting to things all throughout the day. So what we want to do is decrease our cortisol to normal levels. When we wake up in the morning, cortisol naturally goes up because it awakens us. The problem with cortisol being an awakener is that it also keeps us awake in the middle of the night when we're worrying about that PowerPoint presentation or the big thing, that the presentation we're doing tomorrow or some meeting that we're having tomorrow. So in order to bring down cortisol, we need to mitigate or release that cortisol through a variety of different things like exercise, breathing, awake rest, taking a walk, taking time, just literally pulling out all of that cortisol from our system by relieving ourselves and taking that time. Cortisol is essential for getting off the couch, if you will. We need some to have a little bit of edge. But chronically, over time, it's hard on our bodies. It leads to all kinds of physical ailments, all the way from cancer to diabetes to lipids being all messed up in our heart, so having really difficult times with high blood pressure. It leads to aging, it leads to memory loss, and so what we want to do is make sure that we have normal levels of cortisol. So take time to rest, take time to laugh, take time to think, and take time, make sure that you're sleeping. It's a huge, huge thing that helps us to bring those cortisol levels down to our good levels and into a homeostatic place. So I'm Scott Halford, and that is Your Brain Matters.